Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, March. You hear what I said? February 18th. I don't know why I said March. Getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. You're looking at the SPY ETF's market profile here on Window Trader. And a tremendous comeback by the bulls today in SPY and ES. M period did what I was looking for it to do yesterday. We'll go all over that all in a minute. Had a very good day today. Did not do much trading again after I period. This type of grind wears on me. It looks easy to say, well, all you have to do is be long. The thing, I don't care about not taking this trade. This trade is the one I should have had. I was looking for that yesterday, which never occurred, where we just probed and then the market couldn't get much, and then we never alleviated any of these longs, and M took J, K, L, and M's longs out to pasture. Anyway, let's go over some of the other indices, and then we'll go over the trading day and the charts. So the Russell. Now, the Russell is one time framing down 2 days. The long term is up. The weekly intermediate term is balance, and the daily's down right now. So the key here's last week's range. 2 days in a row now we've gotten into it, and today we settled inside of it. Now, it doesn't mean, I'm declaring IWM dead, but I am saying that that's something to keep an eye on because last week's range had a huge range. So if they're able to start getting into it, and especially, say, take out this week's low on Monday or something, then you can start getting some acceleration to the downside. But again, we're not going to declare them dead just yet. Triple Qs, you talk about some interesting stuff going on. And by the way, the Russell still has the gap above them from yesterday. So do the triple Qs. But meanwhile, we have a trend day up today. They have a trend day down from the all-time high with overlap and a higher value. Today, we have a trend day up with lower value. They actually had 3 sets of single prints, but they only leave one. They had L that got filled. They had K that got filled. H held. Double distribution day. A's high to the low. I's low to the high. Treat those as 2 separate days tomorrow. Now for us, we didn't have a double distribution day, but I'll tell you what, it's almost to the same. I'm not going to count it as 2 separate days, but this is where change took place again. When H took out A's high, we never really saw it again. We didn't see it again. It dipped a little bit in I, J, and that's it. Kind of like yesterday where change took place when we took out B's high. However, J and K both came back into that range pretty good, so certainly not the same thing. We probed yesterday, we probed today, and we have a price spike. As far as my trades, believe it or not, every trade I took today was a short, and early in the day, they worked out beautifully. I traded tomorrow's expiration, 392 puts in A period. I did it twice. When we attempted to rally at value low from yesterday, they both worked out as we went back and forth through the opening. B period, we took out A's low. I did not get on board right away, but certainly did get involved. And twice, I took the 390 puts in B period a couple of times. I did the same in C. We had single prints to start. We took out the day's low, and I want to get to that in a moment. I took a short. It came back in, took them off again twice. Now, when I took the last one off in C, I was thinking last week's low was 387.50. We got down to 387.74. That's the main reason I took off the rest of my short. I was like, that's a very visual area. Now, Q's took out last week's low. I thought we would defend ours the first time. That's why I took off the short. I was going to take a long, didn't get it, and we rallied pretty hard. So that was one long play I would have taken today, but I didn't get it. Then in D period, I took a 391 put when we got up towards B's high because at the time, the way I talk about a lowest accepted price, B's high was a highest accepted price. Where A closed, B opened, we didn't go any high, and then we started all this mess to the downside. So even though we stopped one time framing down, I thought maybe we'd defend it the first time, and we did, and I did the 391 puts and did okay. Now, E period. I took a short against. I took a loss on that. Was that E period though? I'm trying to think. It had to be E. I took a short in E. But I lost on that. I did it. I think I don't know. Oh, I know what I did. It was H period, right? So I'm sorry, I'm babbling. I took the short in E against B and D's high. It couldn't have been that. Forget that trade. I lost money, but it couldn't have been an E because we never got to B or D's high. So I did lose money on one trade today, but I'm not 100% sure where it was. It must have been H, not E. I took the puts. It had to be H period. I apologize. I took the puts in H against B and D's high. I said if we get above it, I'm out. And that's what happened, and I lost. I'm sorry. It wasn't E. I don't know why I wrote E. It was H. And then I took one more short in I. I'm like, we're not holding single prints. Let's see what happens. I ended up breaking even on it. I took it. It came in. I took some off. Went back up. Kept putting it on. Finally, when Jay took out I's high, I said, forget it. I'm out. And I broke even on the trade. And that's it. Again, I didn't do anything. I should have taken this trade. I was looking at going to Monday's puts. We weren't getting acceleration above L. L's range was small. I'm like, well, if we get back into L, a lot of times we'll get that reversal bar and finally flush out some of these weak longs. And I never took it. So shame on me. That would have been a nice trade. Again, I thought we might get that yesterday. It did not happen. It happened this morning when all those longs got flushed out. Okay. Destinations for tomorrow. Upside. We have today's high 391.51. Yesterday's high 392.66. 392.85, 12 wide from the 16th. 393.29. Afternoon rally high from the 16th, and you should have the all-time high and the pre-market all-time high. For the downside, I'm just going to use L's high as the price probe, 391.43, even though we settled below it. But this is the real important one, A's high. That's where change took place today. 390.29 is where the price spiked from. So now we see tomorrow if we hold it. Then we have 388.20. I am using F's low as an afternoon pullback, but that's going to be a pretty weak reference point if we ever get back down there. I wouldn't lean too much against that because the day's low is very close to that. And if we don't take this out tomorrow, that's a weekly low, which means we'll have two weekly lows within 24 cents of each other. And that's 387.74 today's low. So that remains to be seen. Now, let's go to the charts. Again, I'll recap everything tomorrow night. I'm just going to do SPY for today. We haven't looked at the monthly and weekly. Well, we're halfway through the month. Oh, actually, we have one more week to go in the month, right? After tomorrow. So we're more than halfway through. Tomorrow's an expiration. We are one time framing up for 4 months out of an inside month. Healthy, right? Very healthy on the monthly. Weekly. We did not take out last week's low yet. So we are one time framing up 3 weeks. Now, have we gotten distance away from last week's high? Of course not. We're below it right now. Last week's range was very small. This week's range is very small. So, but we are one time framing up in the weekly. Now, the daily, we're in an 8-day balance. The high of it is 394.17. The low of it is 387.50. Well, I said this morning to my room, after we got down to and just missed, right? Balance rules. We almost got to the bottom of a balance. Buyers stepped in again. What's the opposite end of the destination? The top of the balance. I didn't think we were going to get all the way back the way we did today. Now, we're not near the high yet, but now it remains to be seen. Do we finish what we started today, take out today's high, stop the one-time framing down in the daily, and now go to the top of the balance and get the all-time high and poor high? Or was all this just responsive buying at the bottom of a balance, and now tomorrow we attempt to take out today's low and continue the one-time framing down and take out the weekly low? All remains to be seen. Volume today, 56 million. We'll do about 60. Still not good, but by far the best we've seen throughout this entire 8-day balance. We have not done over 100 million shares since January 29th. And that was a down day, 126 million when we got through our 50-day moving average. So The volume has not been good. I hope you had a great day trading. Enjoy the evening, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.